All right. Okay. So welcome, everyone. So official welcome to this new webinar in English today. This webinar is about new features that we have released this year from January until now. Even if we are sure that you already know most of them, we are very happy to present them to you one more time. All right. Okay, so I have a wonderful team with me today to entertain you that I am very proud to introduce. So here on the left, we have Charlie. She's one of our best Boon coaches. She's capable of solving the most complex situations. On the right, we have Whitney. She's our super bilingual content creator that we are very happy to have in the webinar team for the first time. And then right there, myself. Okay, so what do we have on the agenda today? Yes, I know it's all about new features. So first of all, we have new features about overall browsing, which means cross-module features which can be used by all types of users and every day. Then we have new features about sales and recruitment. Thirdly, we have new features about sales administration. And finally, new features about BoondManager administrations, which means the configuration part of the tool here. And at the very end, you will have a teaser about new features to come soon. All right, so before telling you more about these new features, we are also very happy to introduce you to the team behind the stage. So right there in the middle on the chair, this is Tanguy Lambert, our CTO, and behind him, all the members of his team that we call the Boon Builders at BoondManager. They are actually the one building the tool for us. Okay, so I will now give the floor to Charlie and Whitney, who are going to tell you about the general browsing new features.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Well, let's start reviewing the new features of 2023 by first focusing on the new everyday features. These new features concern all users, and I'm sure that you haven't missed them. Let's take a look at the notification center. A red dot on the small bell icon located next to your name at the top right corner of your interface should alert you that you most likely have pending activities to work on or other elements to monitor. This feature is the perfect ally for managing your activity. Of course, you will be able to configure your notifications as you wish by using the configuration cogwheel. Charlie, can you tell us more about what happened to dashboards this year?
Of course, dashboards have been given a makeover. You can now customize the content of your dashboards to better manage your business thanks to new customizable widget based on search criteria of your choice. So if we go to Boon to have a better look, as you can see, it's possible to display metrics widgets, which shows a number of occurrences, or list widgets displaying the result of a specific search. The major advantage here of using this view, apart from the part, as I said, you can see at a glance a summary of information that are important for your activities, is that by clicking on the See All icon, you can access the corresponding page with the right filters already applied, and thus work more efficiently and keep an eye on everything.
Oh, thank you, Charlie. Can you also show us how to configure them?
Oh, sure, of course, it's super easy. There's actually two options. Either your administrators or you are the administrators set the default configurations for all of the user with the same rules, to standardize and makes everything easier. Or you can click on the configuration buttons and then on the plus buttons. And here you can choose the type of elements you wish to add. So metrics, list, or preset widget as you used to know them. Here in my example, I want to display a list of candidates presented last month. And so to do this, I will choose list and the elements, and then the module's positionings. And lastly, add the titles, candidates presented last month. Now it's time to set the features, so click on Configure Filters. As you see, we are now into the positionings modules when we will use the filters we wish to apply. So as parameters, I could pick only my data if I wish, because it's only restricted to me. But in this particular case, I want to see all of the positioning available, so I unchecked everything. Then I will move on to the positioning states, and I will tick for clients interviewed only. Afterward, I will add state opportunities for only the active ones, so warm, hot, and cold, the one I'm currently working on. And in the end, I will choose the periods, update dates elements, and using dynamic periods. And I will pick last month, as I said. This is a brand new feature we will talk about soon, don't worry. We'll let you know what it is. And of course, I apply, I have my shortlist, I can now confirm, and I'll go back to the configuration of the dashboards. And here, it's really cool because you have now the possibility to drag and drop the elements to display them wherever you like on the page. So you can really customize and personalize the dashboards. When you're ready, you can just save. And if we go back to the dashboards, the new widget is now on. Here it is. So I hope you like these new features and that you are listening to us, but also maybe trying it on the side. Whitney, can you introduce us to the discussion thread, please?
Of course. Thank you. Do you guys wish to quickly discuss a candidate with one of your recruiters or to quickly confirm the sales price on a delivery? Well, then start a discussion directly from the related card. Once your collaborator has responded, you will be notified in the Notification Center's Threads tab. For your information, we have amazing webinars that mention the subject for sales and recruitment teams. So I invite you to check them out on our YouTube channel. One of the most appreciated new features of this year has been to be able to switch your interface to dark mode. This setting is available in your account's configuration. As a reminder, you can click on your name on the top right corner, click on Configuration, and under the Advanced Settings, you will find the possibility to select dark mode or to even match your device's theme settings. And I'll hand the floor back to Charlie.
Welcome to the dark side, Whitney. This is really cool. Let's talk about another mind-blowing favorite features ever, which is called the saved search. So normally, hopefully, I'm not telling anybody anything new because whatever your job is and whatever you are doing in BoondManager, this filter will sure come in handy. And if you don't know it yet, don't worry, I'm about to show you why it's so cool. So to give you a better understanding of it, I'd like to show you how it works using 3 examples. So first, imagine you are recruiters and you regularly search for a particular type of profile in your candidates database. So let's do that. In keywords, I type Java and Angular. Next, I want to go one step higher, so I will mix it with filters. And I will choose only candidate in the stage pool because I only want people at the top of the game. And I will also add experience 3 to 5 years. And I'm looking specifically in the expertise area of banking because, you know, that is quite specific. I can now apply my search. And I did an amazing job, so I have only 2 candidates, meaning that is a really good search. But I'd like to save it to use it later on. So I can go on Open Search and click on Save Search. I can then decide to simply name it to find it back. And thanks to this, you will have the possibility to register a search library that you will be available to work on in simple clicks, as you can see right now. So, first example. Another example now. Imagine you are a sales team manager and you'd like to lead your various meetings. So Safe Search could be useful for that too. So if we go to the positioning modules, you can create a Safe Search for current positionings to managers. As you can see, we've already done it, and we've selected some filter already by using 4 different states to monitor, you know, the current positioning, the one being worked on, and of course, the active opportunities as well, still the ones that are still available. When you apply, normally it will be on the list, but here we make the choice to display it in the Kanban view because it's quite much more visual and it's perfect to animate all your team meeting at a glance. Last and final example to highlight this functionality, it's imagine now you are a sales administrator. So if we go to the billing modules, same thing, you can use the Safe Search And now you can also use it to monitor the state of your invoices. So invoices that needs to be sent to the clients each month, invoices that are actually due, or late invoices that you need to work on as a reminder. So as you see, it's allowing you to create your very own mini board on each modules to keep track of all the tasks you have to do. So now, time to give the floor back to Whitney to talk about sharing emailing templates and action templates as well.
Thank you, Charlie. Well, as most of you know, emailing is one of the most used applications on the interface. Indeed, thanks to it, you can save email templates, whether they are intended for your candidates in the next step of a hiring process, or for scheduling appointments, or for sending invoices and payment reminders. Well, as you can see, it is very useful for every single one of you and will help you save an insane amount of time. Note that as of recently, you have the possibility to share your favorite template directly from the app to some managers only, or to certain types of resources from your agency. And with that, you get to standardize communication within your team. That's for email templates, but what about actions templates? Let's go to the configuration of your account by clicking on your name, as usual. Then you click on the Actions Templates tab. There, you can also create as many templates as you wish to. This is a huge time saver in terms of note-taking, but it's also a standardization of your processes. So obviously, here again, BoondManager is here to help you and everyone is concerned. Well, since the last update, it is now possible to share your actions templates. No more asking your administrator to share your templates. You can share them with a list of people in the same way that you can share email templates. This list of people that you are allowed to share with, however, will depend on your access rights. But no worries, Charlie will tell you more about this later in this webinar. Let's see what's new on our BoondManager mobile app. Our mobile app has had a ton of new features in 2023. In fact, thanks to the configuration of your dashboard on your mobile app, you can choose which indicators you want to highlight, as well as make data comparisons, thus providing you with a real-time view of the evolution of your activity. Moreover, you get to be more and more autonomous on your app, as you can now create your actions either from scratch or from a template to save time. As you can see on this GIF that we're showing you, GIF, however you want to pronounce it. If your smartphone has the feature, you could even dictate your actions and save even more time. And for even more efficiency, you also have access to discussion threads to your notification center directly on your mobile app. Who do we thank for that? Our mobile team. And I pass the torch back to Cyril.
Thank you so much, Whitney, for those explanations. That was amazing. So let's move on to the next part, which is about the sales and recruitment new features. On this slide, let's say hi to our super QA team. Thanks to them, we make sure that everything goes well and smoothly every time we release a new version. Speaking of that. All right. Okay, so what do we have here? So many things about sales and recruitment. So first, let's talk about CRM cards merging. There are maybe too many duplicates in your database and you can't take it anymore. From now on, don't worry, you can merge contact and company's cards. However, this is not possible for everyone. Indeed, you need to have the modifications and deletion rights on the card you're trying to merge. Let's have a close look in BoondManager and let's take an example. Okay, so let's go to the CRM module right there, and then the company's view. And I've just noticed that if I start a search for my Chanel company, which is my work client, I have another result, which is Chantel, which here for sure is a mistake that was created by mistake. And I would like actually to get rid of that Chantel company. Okay, so let's open the company called Chantel that I want to get rid of. And I've noticed that right there, I've got 3 contacts, and they actually belong to my real Chanel company, so client, the one I would like to keep in the end. So I'm going to start the process from this company that I want to delete. And to do that, I can click on the 3 little dots at the top and then click on merge. So here they tell me that I'm about to merge data from this source company, Chantel, into the destination company that I'm going to actually write and select right there. A few warnings. The merging of cards brings the following changes. Only information of the destination card is kept. Attachment from both cards are merged into the destination card. So here, Chanel. Contacts and everything related to the source cards are reassigned to the destination company, and the organization chart of the source card is deleted. Okay, so let's go to the next step. Then the system will check that my rights are correct and allow me to do that. That's correct, so let's launch. Okay, so now if I actually make another search, that's the only one company that I've got left, Chanel, so I'm very happy about that. And let's have a look in my contact details. I've got actually right now more contacts, and the contacts who previously belonged to my Chantel company are right now in my Chanel company. All right, okay. So now I will let Charlie tell you everything about column configuration.
With pleasure, you can customize the displays of the columns in candidates, actions, and resource modules, so you can see the ideal information at a glance in these modules. For that, if we go to Boons to have a look, we can go to one of the relevant modules, such as candidates, and click on the configuration button on the display selection area on the right. As you see, a dialog box opens and it's allow you to do several things. First, you can add columns. I wish to add activities area to the column displayed, for example. I can also remove columns. Let's take out something on the side if you want. For example, last update. I don't need that. I can also change the orders of the column displayed. Activities area should go much more higher, and here is how to do it. And of course, if all of that was a mistake and you played far too much with it, you can click on reset columns to go back to their default configuration. So let's confirm. Here are all displayed with the column I choose, but do you know that you can also adjust their width? So by simply selecting the column's border and then dragging it to the right or to the left. You can also very simply erase the column by 2 clicks, simply by clicking on the 3 dots and click on remove the columns. See? Handy, easy, straight to the point, and that should already be a lifesaver. Serious? What's next on the menu?
All right, so what's next on the menu? So I'm going to tell you about the Overview tab and the searches and filters improvements. Okay, so you asked for it and you got it. As you've noticed on the candidate, resources, and CRM cards, we have integrated a new tab, the Overview tab. That's an overview which allows you to have a recap of all of the important information, such as contact details, state, last actions, CV, and so on and so forth. And as we like to give you tips, we'd like to tell you about how to use, for example, that Overview tab in the CRM modules. So let's take an example. So let's go to the CRM modules and in the contact views. So here I'm going to add one filter, using the activity area, and then choose developer, which means that here I'm looking at my contacts who may be searching for a developer. And that's a good thing because I've got now developers ready for new missions. So let's open the first one so I can start my prospecting. And which is very practical on that page, is that here I've got the number of that client. And I could actually directly click on the icon, so the phone icon, so to use click to call and then call that person, or just use my telephone number as my mobile phone as usual. And then at the same time that I am speaking with that person, then create an action here to write the contents of our talk. There we go. Save. And now that I'm done with that person, I can just use here the navigation arrow, go to the next person, and then do the same. Get the phone number, call the person, and then create an action. So you see that's very, very handy, and it makes your prospecting even more powerful than before. Okay, so by the way, here, speaking of searching information in the system, so as we said, our technical team have improved the search engine in our database for the candidates, CRM, and actions modules. For example, something very handy now that would allow you to not only search based on keywords in the actions, for example, but also in the customized list you have created, like the tools, activity area, so many more possibilities compared to before. Okay, and as Charlie's has mentioned before, we now have dynamic filters in the searches. So if we go back to the bidding module, and just to show you here, that very handy new feature, if I click on filters, I've got dynamic filter for the period. So here, right there, like, today, this month, this quarter, or about like, last week, last month. We also have the until today feature, which is very practical, and then we'll show you more examples later on. And then as far as parameters are concerned, we also added the dynamic parameters. So if you want just to search in your data or my polls, my agencies, the same here. Thanks to this, you can create your set search and you don't have to change them all the time. So that's very handy. All right, okay, so I will now give the floor back to Charlie so she can tell you more about the last two new features that we have on the slide, which are Boond Suggests and e-signature. You're muted, Charlie.
I know. I'm sorry for that. I'm back. Don't worry. Okay, so I think you guys are gonna love these two ones. So your database is a gold mine, but you don't know how to dig in it because you have a lot of profiles. Well, we have exactly what you need for that. We have improved the positioning paths by integrating one new feature called the Boond Suggest. Well, actually two, but I'll show you that. To show you that, we'll need to go to an opportunity and then to a positioning tabs. When I click on the plus buttons to create a positioning, you might have noticed that we have now 3 different possibilities. Of course, we still have our basic search, which I hope I don't need to explain here today. But we also have at the top a new handy feature that lets you search directly for the candidates or a resource you have already in mind because you know they will be perfect for the job. So if I'm looking for Robert Smith, here it is. And last but not least, we can also now use the Boond Suggest systems to save you precious time in filtering your consultants and making a very short list of candidates and resources. So if I click on the candidate suggestions, you'll see that the keyword search is automatically pre-filled with the opportunities informations, as well as certain filters such as activities area, tools, stages, expertise area. You can set the behaviors to your liking, of course, and that's why it's super, super important to make your profile super well qualified in the systems for these features to work and help you. And as usual, afterward, when you're happy with your selections, you can just tick the candidates you wish to positions and apply. If you have any more questions about the Boost Suggestions feature, please don't hesitate to ask your questions, and we'll be happy to come back to it at the end of the webinar. Following on my previous point, so now we are talking about the e-signatures, so all about electronic signatures, because it's a new feature that allowed you to sign contract with your client through Boond. How cool is that? So if we mixed two features, example, with doc templates, as you know, we can click on generate a document. And so we can download a document. In our case, that will be a sales proposal. So here it comes in PDF. That's perfect. Now you want these documents to be signed. Easy. All you have to do is click on the signing a documents icon, and that will be popping up this little window here where you can add the documents to sign. So drag and drop, for example, or click to find it on your computer. Next, we'll be searching for the signature. So in our case, we will find a witness into the contact systems. So here she is. And lastly, I click on send to end the process. Whitney will then receive an email from Universign, our partners, inviting her to view and sign the documents in questions, of course. And on BoondManager's side, as you can see, a pending task has appeared. And when you click on it, you can follow the progress. And of course, last but not least, you also find a copy of the saved documents right here on your opportunities on the site. These features is also available for candidates and resource, which would be super useful if you want to have your contract proposal signed electronically as well. Hope you like all of these new pre-sales oriented features, because now it's time to move on to the sales administrator side.
Thank you so much, Charlie. That was wonderful. Very interesting. For the sales administration side, we are very happy to introduce you to the technical support team. So there are 3 guys here, a wonderful team, and without them, actually, the front support team, so that we are actually today, would never be able to be so efficient. So we'd like to give them a huge round of applause. Thank you, guys.
Thank you, guys, and thank you, Cyril. Beautiful new features have arrived in the sales administration section. You unfortunately don't always have direct contact with your client, and the big question until then was, should I track my project on behalf of my end client or on behalf of the company I'm billing? Well, you no longer have to choose. You can now save on the same project the name of your final client and your billing intermediary. This way, you gain greater clarity on your project. How to proceed? It's quite simple. First, you will create in your CRM database the company that you will bill, and you will attach a contact to this company as you usually do. Do not forget to enter billing details. Here's a little extra tip. If your billing intermediaries are consistently the same, you could create a specific state for them in order to easily identify them in your CRM database. Then, when you save your project with your final client, you will find under additional information there, you will find the option to add a billing intermediary. When you do so, your billing details will directly be included in the purchase order. There we go, all done. But Cyril, I was wondering, what do I do when I receive partial payments?
That's a very good question, Whitney. Let's continue the sales administration topic by talking about the monitoring of invoices payments. And to do so, let's go back to BoondManager, and then now on the billing module, and then on the invoices view. So let's take an example with one of the invoices that we have in the system, like this one. All right. So from now on, when you receive a partial payment on an invoice sent to your client via BoondManager, you can go to the invoice card, as we've just done right now, and then you will notice a task list right there. And you will have the possibility by clicking on the coin icon right there to indicate the partial payment already received and the date you received it. Let's say that yesterday, on the 6th of November, I have received a partial payment of 10,000 euros. I can add a comment if I want to, if that's necessary. And before clicking on confirm, I can even update the state of that invoice. Let's say that right now, obviously, it's partial payment, and then click on confirm. So at this moment, Spoon will calculate the amount still to be paid. So right there, amounts payable, based on that total amount and the partial payments I have already received. So right now, 2 solutions. Maybe that I have received another partial payment of that invoice, so I could click again here on the coin icon and add another row. Or let's say that this time my client has paid the rest of that invoice, so I can directly change the general state of that invoice, then choose paid. And then right now, the amount payable is equal to 0. And if I actually click on the coin icon again, then I will see another row added automatically with the rest of the amount that was still to be paid by my clients. All right, so that's a great feature, right? So I was telling you before about dynamic filters, and here is a very good example I would like to highlight in the billing module. So where we are, and then in the invoices view. And we have already created a save search here, which is 2 invoices. So here we have actually 2 filters, the state of the invoices, creation and transmit to the clients, and for the period, so dynamic period, expected payment date this month. So thanks to that, I can identify in a flash all of the sent invoices, but still not indicated as paid in BoondManager. This can mean that your clients have not paid your invoices yet, and then you have to chase them, or maybe that you have not updated the state of that invoice in BoondManager, which obviously is very important to do. All right, another example that I would like to highlight here would be in the schedules view of the billing module. So here we have already created a save search. Oh, no, sorry, we haven't created a save search. I'm going to do that, sorry. And then actually what I could do here is just add a filter using the period, then schedule date, then dynamic period, and then choose until today, apply. And then, here you can even sort out the results, in different ways. Actually, the views that I like best is that one. So I can see the schedules that I have not invoiced yet. So very, very handy. All right, so we're done for partial payments and dynamic filters. Okay. And now let's see that what we have on the administration side of BoondManager. And before doing that, here is a great picture of our BI and performance team all together before giving the floor back to Whitney. Whitney, back to you.
Thank you very much, Cyril. Another great feature that arrived at the beginning of 2023 is the ability to archive reference tools that you no longer wish to use. As a reminder, your reference tools are located in the global settings in administration. Right there. Thank you, Cyril. To archive different data, all you need to do is click on the eye icon at the end of the row. This way, the archived resources and candidates types will no longer appear in the drop-down menu that you have in your modules, and it won't be selectable. This action is not irreversible. Don't be scared. Unlike deletion, it is not. You can reactivate it at any time. Don't forget that having precise and tailored reference tools for your activity will lead to better categorization of your data. Another feature that is always highly appreciated in your global settings is the customization of your reference tools, display order, as well as the choice of colors of your states. Have you ever dreamed of giving your interface a makeover? Well, it's possible now. You can change the display order of your reference tools by dragging and dropping your data. It is very useful with states, like, for example, if you use the Kanban view. You can also choose for your data your own shades of pink or blue. What about the end of a process, Charlie?
Of course, well, still on the same page, it's possible to indicate that a specific state is equal to an end of process on the card status. And to do so, simply click on the hand icon on the right of the status. When it's already in gray, it's because it's already been done. As you can see here, we mark the state as the end of process, and we already wrote down and select few reasons that will be available in the drop-down menu. So we can now go back to our positioning module so you can see exactly what it does. Let's click on opportunity cards. And we are going to simply, as I said, modify their status. So here I decided it would be a candidate's refusal. And here I have a pop-up appearing that allowed you to choose the desired end of process reason. In our case, we choose locations, and we can even add the specific comments. For example, this person only wished to work in the great city of Lille, so not available anywhere else. And this will enable you to see this reason and the comments associated on different relevant view here on the positioning and opportunity cards, but also on the resource positioning tabs and the contact opportunity tabs as well. Basically, anywhere you need it to have more information. I'll also now like to walk you through some new interesting administration features regarding rights. and specifically 2 new features first, and then I give the floor to Whitney. So it will be about exclusion on source view and new sharing and collaborations rights. We know right and permission, it's a touchy and sensitive subject. Many of you are a little wary of granting access to certain modules containing sensitive data, and we feel you. But now you don't have to be, because we further improved rights and added exclusion on search view. What do I mean by that? In other words, when you go to a module configurations, you will be able to select how to exclude states or type from the displayed list. For example, right now I'm connected as Delphine, who is a super user. If I go to the candidates modules and I filter to see only my internal staff list, so excluded consultant, internal or external, I see 5 candidates into the system. Now, to show you what's happening differently, we go back to the administrations and manager role, and we'll click on the sales role that I'd like to restrict. And if I go to the candidates modules configurations, in the search tab, I can now exclude typed link to internal staff. So here I clicked everybody that I want to hide into the displayed list. And to show you exactly what's happening, I suggest that we connect from serial 4 point of view. Going back to manager role, I can click on the little tiny spy icon to connect from their point of view. And we can say hi to James in the same time. Here it is. So if we go to candidates again, and now we try to filter. Same filter that we did earlier with Delphine. So I choose to select only my internal staff. I apply, but now I don't see anything. So the search was unsuccessful, or in your case, you were successful in restricting access. So that's exactly what you wanted to do. Let's go back and connect to Delphine as a super user for the rest of the webinar. That would make our life easier on this particular case. And we are now talking about sharing and collaboration rights. So again, we go back to administration and manager roles and on the roles, because that's where the magic happens. On the role, we go to miscellaneous tab, and specifically into sharing and collaboration rights configuration. In the search tab, you now have the possibility to indicate who they can share items with and who they can notify in discussion threads. So for example, if you want your collaborators to be able to share only with the people in their perimeter or with the people of the same type as them, this is now possible. So thanks to this, you can secure and refine the list of people they share information with, and so to keep everything under control. And of course, as I said, it's applied to safe search sharing, action and emailing template sharing, and also discussion threads. Whitney, what's possible now on the rights as well?
Thank you. Before, when you created a role, you could grant the right to search for all managers in your interface. Or, sorry about that, my cat is being annoying. So if you hear noises, sorry. But yeah, as I was saying, you could grant the right to search for all managers in your interface or only the managers you manage or no managers at all. Now, you can grant search access to specific managers or to the list of managers belonging to the same business unit. And now, for our last section, Cyril and Charlie will present to you our features in development.
All right, there we go. Thank you so much, Charlie and Whitney. Here are the main new 2023 features that we were happy to tell you about again. In any case, it looked very important to us to pause a moment here and to thank you all. Indeed, if BoondManager can evolve in a good way, this is thanks to you, and we would like to take this opportunity to remind you that all of your ideas are always more than welcome to feed our roadmap. Speaking of roadmap, on this slide, here are our product team members who work very hard every day to turn your ideas into reality. Okay, and I will now give the floor back to Charlie for the last time today so she can reveal what this teaser part on the agenda was all about.
Oh, do you know what time is it? It's spoiler alert time. To end this webinar, we wanted to give you a sneak peek of what we'll be delivering when we go live in December, and also to tell you about one of our major projects for 2024. For the next release, Corporate Doc has been completely redesigned to become Digital Workplace, an application that will enable you to keep making documents available for your employees and consultants, of course, but these times you will be able to give access according to the agency that your consultant belongs to. So more restrictions, more possibility to share documents safely. And of course, as well as letting them know that there is a new documents available. But you know us, we like to go always faster, further, and higher. So we even go one step further, enabling you to keep your staff informed of your company news and events, future webinar, future seminar, new insurance policy, anything you want to know and want to tell them about through publications visible directly from the notification center. So like mini blog available in one touch, and that's super cool. There will also be development in billings to allow you to separate invoices for exceptional activities. So one click, two separate bills. That's awesome. And also improve your schedules entries for your fixed price projects. Process will be much more easier and will help you also to go a little bit further. So that's really cool. Other new feature will also be on the menu on December, but I think we will let you the surprise because that's not fun in telling everything. As far as 2024 is concerned, so we have already started working on a huge project involving the purchases management. We know that more and more of you are working with external consultant and supplier, and you've shared with us your challenge of managing such. So we have two major projects underway. One to simplify the subtractor suppliers payments tracking, and another one to facilitate the submissions of the invoice by your external consultants. So something to be looking forward for 2024. And last but not least, we'd like to say again a huge thank you to you for helping us to be at the best of us and to keep improving the systems, to keep answering to your needs. And of course, we also want to thank all the Boon team that you see on these pictures who works day in and day out beyond the scenes to make this magic happen and help you grow your business as well. On that note, I'm particularly proud to close this webinar today, co-hosted with the amazing webinar and Whitney and Cyril, and we are looking forward to answering all of your questions. So now it's question time. The floor is yours.
Thank you, Charlie.
Thanks a lot, Charlie and Whitney. That was great.
Cyril.
Let's see.
Yeah, so it's question time. So the floor is yours. So if you have any doubts, any questions, any things that you would like us to highlight or precise one more time, just feel free.
We actually have questions about how to manage the subscriptions of the signed documents features. Because, right, that's interesting.
That's correct. Actually, you need to know what when you start using this new feature for the first time, we actually offer you 100 signatures, so you can actually test the system. And I think that's very, very kind of us. And then if you want to purchase, let's say, more signatures, what you need to do is click on your name, right there. Then you go to the subscription part. And there you can, you have the options to, reload the number of signed documents that you can use. So you click there, then you will select 100, 250, 500, or 1000. So 4 different packs. Then you can confirm your request, and then you will have more signature available in the system for you to use that feature. All right, then we have another question. Which is, when are we going to receive the recording? Oh, that's a great question. Actually, recording, of each webinar that we do is very, very fast available, usually in the same day or maybe the day after. And what we do, we can maybe show you because, as we mentioned, we have actually a YouTube page. And this is where you will actually find everything.
If you don't have enough of us, you can have more.
Yeah, every day, every night. All right, so you go here, then you can go to the videos tab there. And then this is where you are going to find all of the, it's not just only webinars, but it's most, of them webinars. And that's where, you will see the last webinars that we post. So today or at the latest tomorrow, you will see that on that page in our YouTube channel. So no worries. Oh, and Lydia, we have another question. How can we schedule a training session for our team? So, we take this as a compliment because, we thought that maybe you loved it so much right now you want to have a training session. Maybe to do so, the best is to, directly write to us. So you can actually write to your Boond coach if you have one, or you can write to your Boond ambassador if you know your Boond ambassador. If, you don't know anyone and you don't know who to talk to, again, something that we can show you, which can be quite convenient for you, is to, when you are connected, on BoondManager, you can actually click there on the question mark, so the help section, and then you can click on contact us, and then right there, you can actually send us a ticket, so you can send the ticket to the hotline, and then, obviously someone at BoondManager will know how to redirect you, and that will be with pleasure that you can actually have training session with us.
Another cool question, because we did not mention this time, where do we create a task list?
All right, okay.
Cool feature.
So maybe that this question comes from the fact that we showed task list on the invoice.
Yep.
Actually, this one, is, let's say, an automatic one that we have on each invoice, thanks to partial payments. But then, obviously, on different modules on BoondManager, you can also create your own task list. It's something that we haven't really mentioned today. But then how you can do that, you can go to the administration side. Then here you have the template section. And then you have task list. And this feature actually allows you, like, here you can see different examples that we have already created on the candidates, on the CRM, on the opportunities. You can actually select the module that you want to create a task list on, let's say candidates. You give it a name. And then you will choose the type of candidates that you want to link to this task list. Then the state, the agency, and then you are ready to create your task list. So here you have two options, tasks only, so one single task, or task and then subtask. So that's how it works. If you want to know more about this, again, we have a tutorial in the help section that you can actually read about how to create your task list. But then that's a few elements about that. All right. Do we have any more questions?
Maybe one more questions about Boond Suggest, because somebody asked earlier about where to do the configurations. So as we said, there is two types of configurations. The administrator can actually set for everybody a standard version. And for that, they can go to the administration and they go to global settings. And that would be into the tab dedicated to opportunities and projects. And if you go further down, this is where the magic happens. Normally here, positioning settings, so profile suggestions. So here you can set the automatic kind of filter. So if they take which parameters for candidates and for resource, if you need to exclude some stages, if you want the the specific filter, like activity area expertise to be keyword or to be filter, that would be where you can set up the configurations for everybody all at once. So that's always a good first to start using the Boond Suggest. But afterward, you get educated on the subject and you want to make some change and use your very own configurations. This is also possible. But for that, you need to click on your name and go on configuration. And now here you have a new tab called Profile Suggestions, where you find the same settings of the administrator, but specifically dedicated only to you. So you can make your very own setups to use Boond Suggest. And if you think that you messed up the settings, no worries, you can always come back to the default one using the little arrows next to Profile Suggestion settings. So that allows you to go back to the standard settings as well. Now you know everything.
Yep. That's correct. Thank you, Charlie. We
Yeah,
have
we have.
another anonymous question, which is how can you configure your dashboard? So we can show you that one more time. So when you go to dashboard, actually here, let's if you want to do your own configuration as a manager, as a user. So here, dashboard, overview, then you have the configuration cockpit here at the top. Just click on it. And that's where you can actually do your configuration. So then you can see all of the metrics or widget that you have already added, and you can obviously update them if you need to. And if you want to add more, then you click on the plus, and then you will select metric, list, or widget. And then the module that you want to use here, let's say contact, give a title, then click on configure filters, choose a filter, confirm, and then you will have a new widget on the dashboard that you can actually, as we've shown you, move around because you want to put this just a bit up there, save, go back to the dashboard, and there it is. So that's how you can actually do that.
Kirill, maybe we can also show just in 2 clicks where the administrator can set it up for everybody, because we say that you have the possibility to be your very own. But on the administration side, on the manager role, so on the right for the roles configuration, so if we pick sales, for example, you see now on the right top corners, you will have a dashboard configure buttons, meaning that you can set with the same way we just showed you for preset dashboards for your teams. Each specific roles can have the specific settings of dashboards.
That's correct. Thank you, Charlie.
You're welcome.
All right, and it looks like we have no more questions for the moment. So if you still have one, just it's your time, so don't miss out. But if but if that's good, then let's say that maybe that's the official end of this webinar. So one more time, we would like to thank you for joining. We were very happy to have you on board today. When we actually close this webinar, you will get a satisfaction survey. So please answer it. That would be very good for us, so we can get your comment and know what you liked or maybe what you liked a bit less, so we can even do better for the next time. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thanks for joining. Have a great day, and maybe see you for the next one.
Happily so. We'll be there at
Have a great day.
Yeah.
Take care.
Bye bye, everyone. Take care. Bye bye.
You all.